Select continue this. All right, for some reason Facebook ain't recognizing me as my own account. All right, I have to do it the long way as I get done. All right, so the Kathab reading is coming from Sirach, Ecclesiastes chapter 2, and I will read that. We're going to be reading Sirach or Ecclesiastes chapter 2. So I'm going to be coming from Sirach or Ecclesiasticus chapter 2. It's one of our staples for some of us who have been around for a while. But all these scriptures are just timely. Like Sis was saying about that Sharash Ibar, things that we forget and you go back and hear it again, it's always on time. So I'm coming from Sirach or Ecclesiasticus chapter 2, verse 1. It says, My son, if thou come to serve Yahweh, prepare thy soul for trials, temptations, troubles. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble. Cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at the last end. Verse 4. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a low estate. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. Verse 6. Believe in Yah, and he will help you. Order your way aright, and trust in Yah. Ye that fear Yahweh, wait for his mercy, and go not aside, lest ye fall. Ye that fear Yahweh, believe him, and your reward shall not fail. Ye that fear Yahweh, hope for good, and for everlasting joy and mercy. Look at the generations of old, and see, did ever any trust in Yah, and was confounded or embarrassed? Or did any abide in his fear, and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him? For Yahweh is full of compassion and mercy, long-suffering, very pitiful, and forgives sins, and saves in the time of affliction. Woe to the fearful hearts and faint hands, and the sinner that go two ways. All praise to the great I am. I thought that was a great kathab to go along with our oaths and covenants, because that's all we have right now, family. We don't have. I know people think they have bank accounts and have assets. None of these things in their society, in their economy, is worth holding on to. But us as believers, born again believers, we can't give up hope. We can't give up hope. The Most High is a rewarder to those who trust in Him. So that is our kathab, and we're going to get into oaths and covenants. I think this is part 6. I may be losing track, but oaths and covenants is what we're going to continue with. And like I was asking that brother, I was saying, like, he wants us to get on and have a discussion, and I'm like, let's just let the text speak. We shouldn't. If the text is speaking, it's nothing we need to say. Let the text speak. So why is that not showing? So this is, I believe, it's part 6, oaths and covenants. So we did the first 12, and now we're going to have another clip of 12. And I don't know how. There's so many promises in inside those prophecies, and even inside the New Testament. I haven't even made it to the so-called New Testament, showing the difference between what was promised to the Gentiles and what was promised to the nation of Israel. And as we're reading these promises, you're going to see, like, it's a 2-for-1. We're destroying Christian dogma as we're rehearsing our promises to just rebuild our hope. Because, like the elder wrote, I think it was Peter. Peter was saying that some of our elders start to be like, Where's the promise of the coming of his coming? You know, nothing has changed since the greats have fallen asleep. So this series is my mission, just to, you know, as these days grow long, and you know, you may be down to your last loaf of bread, you know, sing praises unto Yah, remember your oaths and covenants, and that's going to get us through. So the first one, or number 13, I should say, number 13 is Micah 7. Micah 7. Anybody, Shamaria, you station, Narai, you stationary yet? It is a lot of reading today.
Maybe 10 more minutes.
10 more minutes. Okay. Micah 7. Where's my brick at? Salaki, fam, I gotta get my brick. Uh, I hate using a digital.
Read this first one.
Okay, appreciate that. I can't even find my Micah 7, and we're gonna read verses 15 through 20. Oh, here we go. Ugh. And we're gonna let the text speak. This is not our opinion. This is not our. We're not breaking this down. The text is gonna speak.
Micah chapter 7, verse 15. According to the days of thy coming out of the land of Matazariam, will I show unto him marvelous things. The nations shall see and be confounded at all their might. They shall lay their hand upon their mouth, their ears shall be deaf. They shall lick the dust like a serpent. They shall move out of their holes like worms of the Arataza. They shall be afraid of Yahweh, our Elohim, and shall fear because of thee. Who is like Elohim, like unto thee, that pardoneth iniquity, and passeth by the transgression of the remnant of his heritage? He retaineth not his anger, La'alam, because he delighteth in mercy. He will turn again, he will turn again, he will have compassion upon us, he will subdue our iniquities, and you will cast all their sins into the depths of the sea. You will perform the truth to Yaqub and the mercy to Abraham or Abram, which you have sworn unto our fathers from the days of old.
All praises, the water for that. So there's so much to say in these scriptures, but um, just so we can keep going, just read the text, not being, you know, extra. Just go ahead and read the text. It says, verse 15 says, the redemption is going to be like the days we came out of Egypt. He's going to show us marvelous things. So just being objective, when did this happen? Because those fish people, when they were put into the land by the United Nations, nothing miraculous happened. You guys had the support of the United States, who had the bigger army, so you were able to kill more people and take the land. So this is just textual criticism. If you're saying we're living by something new, when did this happen? When was the days of Egypt replayed and we see marvelous things? And then it says, he says that he's going to forgive our sins. And I'm at verse 19. Verse 19 says he's going to cast our sins into the depths of the sea. So for those who say, well, that's the Old Testament, we have a New Testament. When has the Most High cast our sins into the sea? Right now, we're still being charged. If you're in sin, you're still being charged for that. So these are just conversations as if someone is humble and the Most High is dealing with that person's heart, you can sit them down and just walk them through this and ask them to show you with text, when has this been fulfilled? When has this been fulfilled? So that this is like almost like a three for one. There is no New Testament. Those people over there in the land are not the people that Micah 7 is talking about. And then it says, verse 20 ends with, which thou hast sworn unto our fathers from the days of old. All these prophecies are referring to what he promised to our fathers. Not what he promised to the church, not what he promised to born again believers, Not what he promised the spiritual sons of Abraham who have faith. He promised to our fathers of old. This is an inheritance. This is an inheritance. So this is something we have to look forward to. This is what we hang our hat on. Any comments or questions about that witness? All right, the second one is Nahum chapter 1. Nahum chapter 1, and I'm going to read this whole chapter because it just really, it picked me up. It picked me up. So I'm going to read Nahum chapter 1. This is Nahum chapter 1. It says, the burden of Nivea, the book of the vision of Nahum the Echoshite. Yah is jealous, and Yah revenges. Yah revenges and is furious. Yah will take vengeance on his adversaries, and he reserves wrath for his enemies. Yahweh is slow to anger and great in power, and will not at all acquit the wicked. Yahweh hath his way in the whirlwind and in the storm, and in the clouds are the dust of his feet. My goodness. He rebukes the sea and makes it dry. Dries up all the rivers. Bashan languish, and Carmel and the flower of Lebanon languish. The mountains quake at him, and the hills melt. The Arataza is burnt at his presence, yea, the world and all that dwell therein. Nahum 1 and 6. Who can stand before his indignation, and who can abide in the fierceness of his anger? His fury is poured out like fire, and the rocks are thrown down by him. Yahweh is good, a stronghold in the day of trouble, and he knows them that trust in him. But with a overrunning flood he will make a utter end of the place thereof, and the darkness shall pursue his enemies, Verse 9. What do ye imagine against Yahweh? He will make a utter end. Affliction shall not rise up the second time. For while they be folding together as thorns, and while they are drunken as drunkards, they shall be devoured as stubble fully dry. There is one come out of thee that imagines evil against Yahweh, a wicked counselor. Verse 12. Thus saith Yahweh, though they be quiet, and likewise many, yet thus they shall be cut down when he shall pass through. Though I have afflicted thee, I will afflict thee no more. For now will I break his yoke off thee, and will burst thy bonds in sunder. And Yah hath given a commandment concerning you, talking about Israel. Yah has given a commandment concerning you, that no more of thy name be sown. Salaki, this is talking about the wicked. And Yah hath given a commandment concerning you, that no more of thy name be sown. Out of the house of thy gods will I cut off the graven image and the molten image, and I will make thy grave, for thou art vile. Behold, upon the mountains the feet of him that brings good tidings, that publish shalom. O Yahweh or Judah, keep thy solemn feasts, perform thy vows, for the wicked shall no more pass through thee, he is utterly cut off. All praises. That whole chapter is judgment for the wicked, and then I love it ends with that the wicked shall no more pass through our land. So again, just being objective people, not being emotional. When has the wicked stopped passing through the land of Zion? Right now, the land of Zion is flooded. It is downtrodden with the wicked. So this is how we just, turn the music off and ask the people who are, saying that we are in a cult or it ain't about a nation. He's saying, oh, Judah, keep your feast. Well, if you're not Judah, you don't have to keep the feast. And if you're practicing Christianity, you don't even know the feast. So that's why I pulled this chapter as a witness. This is something we have to look forward to. This is a oath, a promise to Israelites, Yashar Allah, that the Most High is going to reward the wicked and he's going to restore us. And soon and very soon, as the old folks used to say, soon and very soon, Father, come now. We won't have to worry about pedophiles abusing our children. We won't have to worry about smelling swine in our nose. The Most High is promising no more wicked is going to pass through your land. So, any comments or questions about that chapter, Nahum chapter 1? All right, the next one is Zephaniah or Zephaniah 1 and 18. You want to grab that till Nariah gets free?
I got it. Yeah.
Zephaniah 1 and 18. Zephaniah 1 and 18. This whole chapter again is lovely, but just for the sake of time.
18. 18.
Khan.
Neither, it says Zephaniah 1 and 18. Verse 4 is good too. Verse 4 says, I will also stretch out my hand upon Judah and upon all the inhabitants of Jerusalem or Yerushalayim, and I will cut off the remnant of Baal from this place, and the name of the
Kamarum.
Marums with the priest.
Kamarum family, I did a breakdown on that a few years ago. Kamarum are the priests who go around dressed in black. The priests of the Most High, who are the Levites, they were given a dress code. We could read about it in Leviticus. But now some of our wicked ancestors are copying off the Canaanite priests who go around dressed in black. What other religious group have black gowns and stuff on?
Catholic.
The Catholics. So all your family and friends who their pastors wear those black and white gowns and collars, they are priests of the Kamarum. Priests who go around dressed in black. Nowhere is the Most High's priest commanded to wear black. I just want to point that out. But go ahead, let me use you. You got it.
All right, I'll just read 14 to 18. The great day of Yahweh is near. The great day of Yahweh is near. It is near and hasteth greatly. Even the voice of the day of Yahweh, the mighty man shall cry there bitterly. That day is a day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of wasteness and desolation, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness, a day of the trumpet and alarm against the fenced cities and against the high towers. I will bring distress upon men that they shall walk like blind men, because they have sinned against Yahweh, and their blood shall be poured out as dust, and their flesh as the dung. Verse 18. Neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them in the day of Yahweh's wrath, but the whole land shall be devoured by fire, the fire of his jealousy, for he shall make even a speedy riddance of all them that dwell in the land.
The water for Rabbah for that. So, Mashapal, this is the Most High's wrath, but the wrath that he's acting out now are against the wicked Israelites, the priests of Kamarum, those who've been sacrificing to idols, and the land that he's going to pour his jealousy upon is the land of Israel, Zion. So again, just being objective, the other nations have idols. The other nations worship Moloch. The other nations worship Diana, all kind of idols in their lands. But we don't find any text where the Most High is pouring out fury on those nations. He's pouring out fury on the Israelites because we are in covenant with him. It's like that joke we used to say about our parents. When we have company over and your company start acting a fool, your mom ain't gonna spank your friend because your mom like, they don't live here, they don't know better. You know better, so I'm gonna whoop you. And that's what's going on here in Zephaniah chapter 1. The Most High is purging our land, Zion, of wicked Israelites who have been worshiping idols and polluting the people. So just being objective, If the Most High loves everybody, and if we all have the same relationship, where is the punishment for the other nations who worship idols? We don't read about it in the text. The fury is being poured upon Israelites who know better. So this is another oath to us. It's positive and negative. He's going to purge the wicked. So that's the negative. Y'all out of wicked Israelites. This marries with Romans. Romans. I can't remember the chapter. All Israel is not Israel. This Christian dogma be just freestyling theology. Nah, all Israel ain't Israel don't mean that it's about being spiritual. No, it's about just because you the seed of Jacob don't mean you're going to make it. The seed of Jacob killed our Messiah. So when Paul said all Israel is not Israel, he wasn't inventing some new people called spiritual Israelites. He wasn't inventing some new nation called faith, the believers. He knew that the bulk of our people, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the masses have become corrupt and wicked. So yes, being Israelite, it puts you on the boat. Don't mean you're gonna stay on the boat. You have to be walking in line with Abba, and now we have to be covered by the blood of Hamashiach, Yahushua. Any comments or questions about that witness?
That was wrong. Fix what you were alluding to.
You cut out. I'll go ahead and give it again.
It was Romans 9:6.
Romans 9 and 6, the water. Romans 9 and 6. Paul wasn't inventing new spiritual Israelites. He knew the prophecies. He knows judgment's coming to Israel first. Judgment comes to Israel first, and then the other nations have a judgment for what? For what they did to us. The other nations' judgment is not because y'all got the rainbow going on. Your judgment is what you did to us. That's why I tell you all, once you are converted and once your heart is purified, put your fringes on. Let them people know that yes, I'm an Israelite. I'm in covenant with Yah. Now when they call you boy, now when they call you out your name, you run it up. You run it up your bill. Because I told you I was. You see my garments. You see I'm not partaking in your hell days. I'm showing you who I am, and you still gonna vex me? Okay, you just running up your bill. The water for that. The next one, Narai, can you take us to over to chapter 3, Zephaniah 3, verses 8 through 20?
Shema.
Zephaniah 3, 8 through 20. Read.
The book is upon y'all, Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 8. Therefore wait ye upon me, saith Yahweh, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them mine indignation, even all my fierce anger. For all the Arataza, or earth, shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. For then will I turn to the people a pure language, that they may all call upon the name of Yahweh to serve him with one consent. Please, Father. From beyond the rivers of Ethiopia, my suppliants, even the daughter of my dispersed, shall bring mine offering. In that day shall you not be ashamed for all your doings, wherein you have transgressed against me. For then I will take away out of the midst of you them that rejoice in your pride, and you shall no more be haughty because of my holy mountain. I will also leave in the midst of you an afflicted and poor people, and they shall trust in the name of Yahweh. The remnant of Yasharallah shall not do iniquity, nor speak lies, neither shall a deceitful tongue be found in their mouth. For they shall feed and lie down, and none shall make them afraid. Sing, O daughter of Tazawan, or Zion. Shout, O Yasher Allah, or Israel. Be glad and rejoice with all the heart, O daughter of Yerushalayim, or Jerusalem. Yahweh hath taken away your judgments. He hath cast out your enemy. The Malak of Yasher Allah, even Yahweh, is in the midst of you. You shall not see evil anymore.
Mm.
In that day it shall be said in Yerushalayim to Yerushalayim, fear you not, and to Tazawan, let not your hands be slack. Yahweh your Elohim in the midst of you is mighty, Gabar. He will save. He will rejoice over you with joy. He will rest in his love. He will joy over you with singing. Imagine what that sounds like.
Mm.
I will gather them that are sorrowful for the solemn assembly, who are of you, to whom the reproach of it was a burden. Behold, at that time I will undo all that afflict you, and I will save her that halteth, and gather her that was driven out, and I will get them praise and fame in every land where they have been put to shame.
Mm.
At that time will I bring you again, even in the time that I gather you, for I will make you a name and a praise among all the people of the earth. When I turn back your captivity before your eyes, saith Yahweh.
All praises to water. There's so much meat in these promises, but man, oh my goodness. So man, oh my goodness. So going back up to verse 3. I'm sorry, not 3. Verse 8. Verse 8, Zephaniah 3 and 8. He's going to raise up to the prey, because his determination is set to gather the nations. And he's going to pour his fury upon the nations. Fierce anger. So this on the surface, this seems like everyone's on an equal playing field, because he says the whole earth is devoured with his jealousy. So on the surface, it seems like we're on an equal playing field. The whole earth is being devoured, but we have to keep reading. Verse 9 says, for then will I return. Then will I return to the people a pure language. The only pure language is the language of heaven that Adam was given, and Adam passed on to his sons. It's not the Yiddish that people are learning. It's the original hieroglyphs. Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. That's the pure language he's going to return to us. So now we're getting closer to context, the separation between the earth and the Israelites. Because the Christians will read verse 8, oh, the whole world is being devoured by his fury. You have to keep reading. So now he's going to return to the people a pure language, that they may call upon him with one consent. Again, if you're not studied, they're going to twist verse 9. This is everybody returning to him, calling upon him with one consent. That's why we got to keep reading, because then verse 10, you're getting closer to the context of who this prophecy is benefiting more. From beyond the rivers of Ethiopia, the daughter of my dispersed. Right there, that chops off that Christian dogma that the whole world is being restored. Because the daughter of his dispersed is only us. We are the daughters of his dispersed. So from 10 on down, you get clear context that one of our greatest promises, we're going to be gathered together again. We're going to be speaking a pure language, a holy language. No more calling him Lord. No more calling him God and Jesus. We're going to speak pure language that hasn't been adulterated. And then he still is going to glorify us. Like we open up with, talking about the glory being returned. He's going to honor us in front of these people. And they're going to be shocked, bewildered. Shemoyah read how in the first one we open up with, Micah 7, the people are going to have their hands on their mouth. They're going to be so shocked that it's us who can't speak well. It's us who, was on Section 8 house and had government cheese. It's us in the ghettos. We are the people full of honor and glory now. And now you bow down. How the slave master used to tell us, don't eyeball me, boy. Don't look me in my face, boy. It's going to be them now. Put your face to the dirt. Don't look at me. I'm royalty. Man, man. So this is something we have to look forward to. And then, like Nariah was bringing out, he says, I'm going to sing. Now, the text is saying that Abba's going to sing. But is it really Abba's going to be doing the singing? No, it's his servants, the angels. Can you imagine the angels sing? Our choir are the angels singing because we've been restored. They're going to be, the angels are going to be rejoicing because the Most High's people is back on their feet again. They're back crying out to Yah again. They fear you again. Can you imagine that choir? My goodness. Any other comments or questions about that witness?
Can I be heard clearly? Am I
Come.
choppy? Okay.
No, you're clear.
I just wanted to put a precept with this. Luke chapter 10, verse 20 specifically. This is when the apostles, Yahushua, giving them power over the evil spirits. And they were getting excited about, like, yeah, the spirits is doing what we tell them to do. They leaving people and all these things are done. And Yahushua pretty much humbled them. So even with Zephaniah 3, us being glorified by Abba and all those things, I just want to read this because I think it fit well with what's coming as far as what happened as well. So Luke chapter 10, verse 20, notwithstanding, in this rejoice not that the spirits are subject unto you. In this case, the nations will be subject unto us, but rather rejoice because your names are written in Shemayim. And I think that was the most powerful takeaway as far as going along with what you're talking about. Don't get too ahead of yourself. Don't take these things for granted just because, now we are the Adonayim of the Arataza, but rejoice that our names are written in the Shemayim, that we even made it out of the wilderness because we know the rebels going to be purged out. We made it out of the judgment because we know wrath and fury is being poured out. So just keep that in mind. I'll yield with that.
All praises. All praises. And again, this is something, Luke 10, the Christians can't hijack this. This is not for Christians. This is not for born again believers. You have to keep it in context. So I won't take us off on a tangent, but Luke 10 is not for believers. When he says your name is written in the heavens, it's not for born again believers. It's for the Israelites. Repent, Israelites. I just leave it at that. The water for that witness op. So that was Zephaniah 3 and 8. Let's see if we get 4 more and we'll wrap it up for the day. Let's see if we get 4 more and then we'll wrap for the day.
Yashar had his hand up.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I couldn't see it.
Hey, Shalom, Mashpa, am I coming through?
Khan, loud and clear.
All praises, Shalom. Man, I was just, just hearing this and then, seeing like the glyphs. Man, I'm just thinking like with Yah, like his name, how we call him Yah. If I'm not mistaken, that's like work, with the closed hand and then the extended arm, right? Yud, they would say, I guess.
Khan.
And it's like when he says he's going to do something, he puts, it says he's going to do a work in the earth. And it's like when we call him Yah, it's like he's doing that work. He's putting that hammer down, or he's got that closed fist, and it's committed. It's going to be done no matter what anybody says. And I was watching Truth Editor, and he was talking about how the Christians, when it comes down to Old Testament prophecies, is overlooked. But it's what I'm noticing, it's a reverence for his word. If he say he's going to do it, he's going to bring it to completion. And, the last thing that came to mind was just like with Sakat, I believe it was Nariah who brought it out, how the sticks represent his people. It's like we're all supposed to, how we're called by his name. It's like we're all doing that work that Yah, in him, building the Sakat, putting it together, all working together in the sense of seeing these prophecies and the things going on around us, leading us to that day where Mashiach's coming back to dwell with us. And I don't know if I'm making sense, but last thing I'll say too, I'm like, when I seen that, I'm thinking, oh, that reminds me of the fist, that we throw up as a people. And I look up and I see the new Torah group emblem. I'm like, oh snap, all praises. There go that yud or that yah right there on the emblem. But all praises. I just had that on my mind.
All praises out, and it's wonderful how our culture just is intertwined, because as you're bringing out that the Father's name starts with the arm of a man, and that's the Yah sound, and that arm is a metaphor for work, and we know the Father is the Creator, and he's like you were saying, the prophet said, I'm going to do a new work in the earth for my people, and we have a slang. It's probably outdated for now, but I grew up in the 80s and 90s, but we would say, I'm putting in work. Even athletes, putting in work. So I just thought that was just kind of befitting how our culture just us not even knowing that we're Hebrews, we actually been practicing our culture unaware with our slang and our customs. Putting in work. The Father is the Creator. He's the ultimate Creator. So yeah, no, everything you were saying was making sense. Like I understood that loud and clear. Anybody else? Anybody else?
I think it goes into his name, or I know there's a lot of contention in regards to the pronunciation of the name. Some say Ahia, some say Yahweh, Yahuwah, Aya. But in the context of Yahweh specifically, Yahweh, the creator being revealed, Yah, and sealed to his people. So you can look at it in the context of who is Yahweh with. Our case, because we're called by, blessed is the man who is called by the name of Yahweh, or comes in the name or the reputation of Yahweh. Put Yahweh's name in the context of us. Yah, our works, Yah, reveal, Ha, who is sealed to the Spirit. So by our works and our faith, that is going to show, it's going to reveal who's sealed by the Rawak. So you can look at his name and, just like I say, in that specific context and that specific pronunciation, and see who and how the Most High going to be coming. Like, it's going to be revealed all in due time, and it's going to be on his people. We really been saying the same thing over and over this whole time. But I just want to say that.
Kyle, I mean, this is the man. This will have us jumping around acting like a fool like the Christians do, and they do it ignorantly. But we're going to be doing it with understanding. We're going to be doing the rerun, whatever your favorite, we're going to be doing the Dougie on these people, singing, and just imagine all of us manly men, no broke wrist men, us manly men with beards and just chanting, Yah, how, what, and people just say, look, what are they saying? And it's not just our little group. It's thousands, millions of us. We're so deep that our chant got the trees and the earth shaking, and the angels in the sky chanting the same thing. And our king is just standing over us like, my sacrifice wasn't in vain. My torture wasn't in vain. My goodness. My goodness. All praise to the great I am. You want to continue? We got Zechariah 1 and 16. Zechariah 1 and 16. We'll stop at see if we get down to Amos, and we'll wrap for the day so you guys can enjoy the Most High's goodness. Zechariah 1 and 16.
I did want to say.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Real quick with the pure language. It's also a duel where it's about us being able to finally get all on one page as far as keeping the commandments, which days and what time, because it says he'll return us to a pure language, and then it says at the end and after the comma, so that they'll serve me with one consent.
That there won't be any false doctrine either.
Con. And that's why now I'm not batting 100. The Most High was with me the other day, so if y'all see me spazzing out on somebody next week, just like give me grace. But that's why I gave that brother grace, because I'm like, well, A, he don't know the language, and then B, anybody thinking that a son and a father are the same people are totally confused. And then I was thinking, it's going to take Yahweh Shai. It's going to take Yahweh Shai to get everyone together. And so, like I was mentioning last week, we shouldn't really overburden ourselves. My wife is a witness. My early years, I was so, not that I have lost my fire, because you all helped rekindle my flame, but I was so adamant about wanting my family, my immediate family, to see this, that I would really get, it really bogs you down. And now I still have my days where I get sort of sad that, my own offspring, if they don't come around, if the Most High don't bless them, my own offspring, could be part of that group who were born in vain. And that hurts. That hurts because, they came from me. And had I been on my job earlier, instead of being a heathen lost in sin, maybe my children wouldn't still be practicing Christianity. But these are the things like Zamaria is singing about. We have to give control, give that will over to the Most High, because we can go scripture after scripture, prophecy after prophecy. If the Most High is not working with that man or woman's heart, it's all for nothing. So all praise to the great I am for that. Anybody else? I'm not in a rush. I don't want to think you guys I'm rushing. I have all day. But grandbaby's on the way. But I'm here by myself, so I got all day. All day.
Slovakia.
Go ahead, Al, you got
Uh,
it.
I just wanted to make sure that I just wanted to get a witness real quick, man. Yeah, man. Trying to keep myself together, man. This is some powerful stuff, man. But I just wanted to go back to kind of chime on to what Naraya and some of what I just Yashar was saying. And just to make sure I'm thinking the right way. So I was just listening to Psalms the other day, and Father Dawad was saying, he was talking about how the Most High reveals his secret to those who fear him and reverence him, and he reveals his covenant to those who fear him and reverence him and keep his commandments. And so I was thinking, with what Nariah was saying and what Yashar was saying about seeing the name, you can see that through the name of Yahweh. Also from the perspective of, not only does the Most High do the work, but Yahweh could it also stand for, when it comes from us seeing the work, could it stand for he, Yah, reveals his work to man who is secure to to his covenant? Because you got that Yah for the work, you got the Ha, which could represent man, and you got the Wah, which could be secure too. So I was wondering, when I heard that verse, it stood out to me when it says that he reveals his secret, or he reveals his work to those who fear him and keep his covenant. Is that Am I right for seeing that part? Can you see Yahweh in that? Am I saying that right, or am I thinking right when it comes to that?
Yeah, Khan, that's definitely a Shemitic way to process that. That's spot on. That's spot on.
The water, all praises.
All praises. All praises. Mashpah, this thing is not hard. I mean, I'm sorry. I don't wanna make it seem like we're not a we are a, how should I say this without sounding so, don't want to sound arrogant or brash, because our nation is, listen, it is what it is. We're the greatest nation ever created. So I say that because I'm around family, um, but I don't want to make it seem like this is not great, but it's just not. It's not hard. It's really not hard, and it's really not hard. Once you start learning these glyphs, and you see the different ways to when the Most High restores your Shemitic or Shemitic mind, to be more exact. Once you get your culture back, it's easy to see, and And I feel that we're closer to Yah. Like we have a stronger connection. Like how we're tying Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. Like we have a stronger bond now. And then, oh Father, come on. It gives you more strength to resist evil, knowing that I'm not just a believer, I'm connected. I am a physical relative. I'm his people. So that gives you more strength to resist that devil. Whatever that Krispy Kreme you're dealing with that day, you reach down and touch your fringes, and I'm in covenant. I can't slip. I can't say that. I can't go that way. I'm in covenant. It just brings this thing alive. And oh man, Most High is wonderful. Anybody else? Yala, you have your hand up. I'm sorry, I seen your olive first.
Yeah.
In the ride, you got yours up.
Oh,
No, go ahead. You got it. I seen you first, and then the ride popped up.
yeah. I was wanting to make sure on the name. I got like Yah meaning the work or arm of us, Ha meaning the man, and then I forgot what the Wa was, the last part.
The Y represents being secure, because
Okay,
that
so
that Y you're looking at is we call it a tent peg. It's something to secure your tent down, and so the main context of that is being secured. So Yah's work, Yah's, and then the Ha is either revelation or man, and then secured. The Y is secured, being fastened to, like a safety pin. Narai, you got your hand up?
Con, I think it worked out better this way anyway, because what I'm about to read is going to help
Okay.
Allah when it came to his question. I wanted to have this witness for Zamar. Zamar, can you unmute real quick? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Now, according to what we can read in the KJV, and anybody can answer, what is going to lead us into all truth?
The
The word.
Ruach.
hmm The Ruach, right? The spirit leads you to all truth. That's what it say, right?
Calm.
Okay. Now, John 14, and we're gonna start at 15. Now, this is a staple, but you're gonna see Yah's. I pray y'all see Yah's name in these couple of verses, just like I do. Because what you just said, Yahweh, the creator, is revealed and sealed to them by the Spirit.
Where you at?
John 14 and 15.
Shema.
The creator is with man who is sealed by the Spirit, Yahweh. Does everybody get what I'm saying?
Calm.
Okay. Verse 15. This is Yahweh Shai talking. If you love me, or if you love Yah, keep his commandments, and I will pray to the Father, and he shall give you another comforter, that he may abide with you forever, even the Spirit of truth, whom the world cannot receive, because it seeth him not, neither knoweth him, but you know him, because we keep his commandments, for he dwelleth with you and shall be in you.
Calm.
Does everybody see Yahweh with that?
Calm.
So what you were saying is, culturally sounds more. I just wanted to show you this because the Most High reveals his secret to us because we keep his commandments, if that makes sense. I yield with
Calm.
that.
And that's why I still love our Christian family and friends, and as much as I want to just say forget about them and let's just keep each other uplifted, my first of all, the Most High won't let me, because like Shawal says, my desire is all Yasher Allah should be saved. So as I see my Christian family and friends post things, I don't attack them directly, or I don't try to address them directly, but I will post something addressing what they posted. And if they catch it, they catch it, but others can catch it and start to critique what's being said. I know one day I saw one of the brothers saying that this is a word I got this morning, and I'm like, again, my flesh is wanted to post like who's giving you a word if you're not keeping commandments? But that's too harsh. My wife tells me, I'm too harsh sometimes. But that's how men talk. Like us men, like we're just direct. But now with wisdom, we have to try to put things in a package that these people can receive because they're very sensitive, and in their religion, men are not manly in their religion. It's all about love and peace and let's dance. But if you're saying that you got a revelation, but you're not keeping commandments, who's talking to you? So it's one of those things, like it goes hand in hand. Us learning our culture and the Most High, just all our light bulbs are popping off, and we're getting, most of us are getting the revelation by different ways, but we're all saying the same things when we process our culture. It was written. He promised to do this, and like it said here in John 14, John 14 and 17, even the Spirit of truth, whom the world cannot receive. The world can, even though they are Israelites, they are physical Israelites, but they are part of the world, so they can't receive what we're putting down. And we're not going to give up on them, but at the same time, let's be obedient to Abba and help when the Most High say help, because we work for the Most High. So it's one of those things. We ain't giving up on them, but at the same time, we're going to keep each other uplifted and keep each other grounded, and just pray the Most High grace fall on them in due time. All praise to the great I am. Anybody else? All right, let's get to Zechariah 1:16. Zechariah 1:16. And we probably wrap about 2:30 then. Zechariah 1:16 through 20.
Shema.
Shema.
This is the book of Zechariah, or Zechariah, chapter 1, verse 16. Therefore, thus saith Yahweh, I am returned to Yerushalayim
I am
with
what?
mercies.
You cut out. I am what?
I am returned. I am returned to Yerushalayim with mercies.
Okay, I just want to be clear because you were cut out on it. I want people to hear that.
My house shall be built in it, saith Yahweh Tazabah, and a line shall be stretched forth upon Yerushalayim.
Plumb line. Mm-hmm.
I yet saying, thus saith Yahweh Tazabah, my cities through prosperity shall yet be spread abroad, and Yahweh shall yet comfort Tazawan, and shall yet choose Yerushalayim.
Sound good to me.
Then lifted I up mine eyes and saw and beheld 4 horns.
Uh-huh.
And I said unto the Malach, or angel, that talked with me, what be these? And he answered me, these are the horns which have scattered Yahweh, Yashar'Allah, and Yerushalayim.
These are the nations. These are the kings. These are the popes that have scattered my people. Uh-huh.
Verse 20. And Yahweh showed me 4 carpenters. Then said I, what come these to do? And he spake, saying, these are the horns which have scattered Yahweh, so that no man did lift up his head. But these are come to fray them, to cast out the horns of the Gentiles, or Garyam, which lifted up their horn over the land of Yahweh to scatter it.
All praises. I cut that verse off by accident. This again, Zechariah, Yah has remembered of Yah, and this is the perfect way to explain Zechariah's name. Yah is remembering his people, and he's and it's so. This is why it's really not fair. It's really not fair, but the Most High owns the earth, so he can use whoever he wants to be a pawn, and he can choose whoever he wants to be his princes. So he chose the nations as pawns to chastise us, to beat us down, to make us feel stupid, like that prodigal son. I'm over here in a pig pen eating with pigs, and my father is a wealthy man. That's how the Most High wanted us to feel. You over here gotta work 40 hours a week, and now you got this wicked heifer Fika taking money from your check, and you got who else in your check? You got Fika, you got SSI, and so you thinking, oh yeah, I'm supposed to get 1,500. Nah, all these other people get your money first. Here go your 250. So the Most High wants us over here tired and remembering, my father owns a cattle on 1,000 hills. I ain't supposed to be serving these people. So it's like y'all think it's like Yadon got this verse he spit, and I love it. It's a simple verse on the song I posted in the chat. Let my people go. He says, y'all Gentiles think y'all doing something, but y'all ain't doing nothing. So it's like you're gonna have your good days and you're gonna have your bad days. Like some days I'm like, ooh, I can't wait for y'all to feel this fire. And some days I'm like, it's go ahead, live it up. Have at it. Yeah, go ahead, have your swine. Go ahead and inject my elder with. I told my wife a couple of days ago, I think sometime last week, I went to Walgreens to buy me some Epsom salt, and this elder looks good. He about 6'4", 6'3", had to be late 70s, could be early 80s. And so I'm behind elder, and these people telling him he's telling them what he's here to. He's coming to get something. They say, no, you already had your what is that? Not chicken pox. What's that? What's that skin rash? Uh, Not measles. It's like it's related to chicken pox, but they said you get it when you older. Dad, my wife, babe, can you on me?
It's shingles.
Shingles. Thank you, Sister Lena. Shingles. So they're telling him, yeah, you already had your single shot, so today you're gonna get your COVID and your flu shot. And I'm like, I'm standing behind Elder, like shaking my head, like I just wanted to say, Elder, man, you don't need that. I said, and and then they already taking long to come wait on me, so I'm like, I paid for my stuff, and I'm just shaking my head, like I want to tell Elder, man, you don't need this poison. Look at you, you 70-something years old, you don't need this. And it's like we over here subject to all this madness because we ain't keep the law, But the Most High is raising up these nations as pawns, and they don't have no idea. They think they doing something. They ain't doing. You just running your bill up. He raised you up, and he's going to destroy you. He's going to impress. Oh my goodness. Oh Father, just like he raised up Pharaoh to be hard-hearted, so he can show out on Pharaoh to impress us. He going to do the same thing to these people. He's going to do the Dougie on Trump, on Putin. He's going to do the Dougie. He going to show out on y'all to impress us, to let us know I'm your power. Just stay with me. I got you. 1 minute, fam. I got a FedEx. Somebody take over. I got to get this door. They've been trying to deliver this package.
Yeah, so just to go along with what Abijah is talking about, all of these things that Abba is doing in the earth and will do, it's all for us to believe in him. It goes with what his name is. He exists, or he is. So I was actually thinking about this the other day. And whoever can hear me can engage because it's more so like a question. And I wanted to ask it. And when Moses asked him, "What do you want me to tell?
What the hell? Go ahead.
What do you want me to tell Pharaoh? Who sent me?" and he said, Ahaya, Ashar, Ahaya. I was I was just meditating on that at work the other day. And I was thinking to myself, because the English translates it to I am that I am. And I'm wondering to myself, I wonder if he's saying I am the one that had I am that one, the creator. So I am Yah. Wonder if that's what he was saying instead of like be what I'll be or I am what I am. I was just thinking about that the other day, but I say all of those things to say whenever we read about these prophecies, whenever we read about the destruction, the salvation, the deliverance, the pestilence, the good and evil, it's all for us to see it and hear it to know that he is our power. All of this is for us. And, that's why the scripture tells us to not be fearful for what we see or hear. Because just like Shemaryah brought out many years ago, and he always mentions it when the time comes to it to be mentioned in the book of Shazawan or Revelation, those four horsemen, those Malachim that's bringing all of this destruction, they are the good guys. They are for our salvation. So all these people dying, all of this, the peace being taken away from the earth, the famines, the pestilences, the death, the war, all of those are sent by Yah to deliver us. And that's all for us to know that Yah is with us and he's doing exactly what he said he would do for us. But I'll yield with that.
The water. I apologize. I had to get the door, but that's what's going on. The Most High, and man, we're just destroying Christian dogma all the time. We just can't get away from destroying that Christian dogma that the Most High loves everybody the same, and we all God's people if we're believed. Because I didn't have this ready, but let's drop down Nariah. Can you pull Zechariah 2 and 8? I want to make a point. I mean, 7 through 8. 2 and 7 through 8.
I, I wanted to say, a lot of people that aren't going to make it, the Most High didn't choose. Really, the ones who are getting judged are those who the Most High didn't choose, but it's those who just are not keeping his commandment. So,
Oh, no what?
We can't make people believe. We can't make people obey. So those who are getting judged are just simply those who are not doing the will of the Father.
I had Zechariah chapter 2, 1 through 12. This is going to be another proof text that Christian dogma, we all God's people if you believe. You're going to see Zechariah 2, 1 through 12 is just destroying that dogma. Whenever you're ready.
I'm ready. This is the book of Zechariah, chapter 2, starting at verse 1. I lifted up mine eyes again and looked, and behold, a man with a measuring line in his hand. Then said I, Whither goest thou? And he said unto me, To measure Yerushalayim, to see what is the breadth thereof, and what is the length thereof. And behold, the Malak that talked with me went forth, and another Malak went out to meet him, and said unto him, Run, speak to this young man, saying, Yerushalayim shall be inhabited as towns without walls, for the multitude of men and cattle therein. For I, saith Yahweh, will be unto her a wall of fire round about, and will be the glory in the midst of her. Oh, come forth and flee from the land of the north, saith Yahweh, for I have spread you abroad as the four winds of the Shemayim, saith Yahweh. Deliver yourself, O Tazawan, that dwellest with the daughter of Babylon. For thus saith Yahweh Tazabah, to the kabod or glory he sent me unto the nations which spoiled you. For he that toucheth you toucheth the apple of his eye, or the center of his attention.
Mm.
Behold, I will shake mine hand upon them, and they shall be a spoil to their servants. And you shall know that Yahweh Tazabah have sent me. Sing and rejoice, O daughter of Tazawan, for lo, I come, and I will dwell in the midst of you, saith Yahweh. And many nations shall be joined to Yahweh in that day, and shall be my people, and I will dwell in the midst of you, and you shall know that Yahweh Tazabah hath sent me unto you. Verse 12. And Yahweh shall inherit Yahweh his portion in the Holy Land, and shall choose Yerushalayim again.
Mm. This is language that no other nation can claim, and this is a dictionary definition of nationhood. Mata Yasharallah, the tribe of Israel. And this is another proof text why these prophecies do not align with the Christian theology. So that's why they have to talk, they have to preach prosperity, they have to preach faith. But you're using Israelite texts and promises that were specific to Israelites to have pep rallies. But this is music for Zion. And then the perfect just battle axe here is Zechariah 2 verse 7. Zechariah 2 and 7. Deliver thyself, O Zion, that dwells with the daughter of Babylon. So it's telling the Israelites, deliver yourself, who dwell with the daughter of Babylon. So if we're all the same, why is the Most High only pleading with the Israelites to deliver yourself from Babylon? Because what did the Most High tell Daniel? The whole earth is given into the hands of Babylon. The whole earth is given into the hands of Babylon. Those of you who are studied, you know that statue that Daniel dreamed. And it had all the kingdoms represented in the body parts of the statue. But who was the head of the statue?
Babylon, King Nebuchadnezzar.
Babylon, Nebuchadnezzar. So this whole earth it still belongs to Babylon. Man, y'all got to get this in your spirit. This whole earth, from Japan to the States, it belongs to Babylon. But the Most High is only telling the Israelites to deliver yourself. So if he loves everybody, if everybody belongs to him, why is he only pleading with the Israelites to separate from Babylon? Because we are the people of the book. We are in covenant with him. That's why me and we joke about the different elements at our job. And I'm like, well, I don't care about those because they're not my people. But when I see my people lost in confusion, I want to save them. I want to talk to them. Because we have an inheritance nobody can claim. That's why when it's getting hard out here, financial woes are coming, physical woes are coming. Hold on to these oaths. I don't care. Like Sirach say, strive for the truth unto death. We have an inheritance not of this world. And I don't mean that spiritual pie in the sky doctrine. We have Zion. And then this is, man, I'm gonna get out your way. It says Zechariah 2, and where was it at? When you read it, it just hit me as soon as you read it. Where is it at? It said the land is going to be filled with cattle. Verse 4. Zechariah 2 and 4. And said unto him, Run, speak to this young man, saying, Jerusalem or Jerusalem shall be inhabited as towns without walls. We know that's not right now. As we speak, they have armed soldiers all around their walls. So the Most High is promising Jerusalem is going to be inhabited as a town without walls for the multitude of men and cattle therein. Family, we're getting new cattle. We can't have that wicked cattle they done grown in the lab over there. The Most High is going to replenish the land, the cattle. We're going to have real meat. Chef is going to be chefing up some fresh lamb. We're going to have, everything is going to be new. That's what we got to hold on to. So when those spiritual woes are coming and that spirit of oppression and depression try to anchor you down, you rehearse these oaths and covenants and tell the devil to go to hell. We are the people of the book. Any other comments or questions?
Just wanted to comment on verse 5. It reminds me that wall of fire round about. Pretty much Abba is just saying that he's going to protect us. He's going to defend his land. But it reminds me of when Adam got kicked out of the garden and that cherub of fire was guarding the gate, even at the garden. That just reminds me of that there.
Calm. And no one can lay claim to this. Nowhere are we reading about spiritual Zion, spiritual sons of Zion. This is for physical Zion. And if this hasn't happened yet, where is Zion? Or pastor, if you're saying that this is Old Testament and this has been fulfilled, the Most High is not obscure. The Most High is not confusing. If you're saying these prophecies have already been fulfilled, we need some text. We need some physical manifestation so we can concretely agree with you. And they can't provide that for you, family. This is something we have to hold on to. So whether your job is closing down, they're trying to make you get that glaze again, you walk out head up, knowing that your inheritance is not tied to their glaze, is not tied to their Dow Jones. Our inheritance is being stored right now in the Shemayim. I just wanted to read this real quick in the Septuagint to see how bad it was. Okay. All right. We ain't gonna be too much longer. Let's get to Malachi 3, and I'll close this out with Amos 7. Yashar, you got something out?
I just had one question though. So, and you know, a lot of Christians I noticed they'll go to like Paul to talk about how the good news, you know, was preached to all races. Though I don't know, I would put on my spirit to read Acts, and when I started reading through Acts, I could be wrong, but I wanted to check with you, you know, and anybody, you know, to validate, you know, just get a second witness. When I was reading, I realized that it seemed like every time the word Gentile was used, it was Jews speaking to Jews or a congregation of Jews. And every time where the Greeks were being spoke to, it seemed like they used the word Greek. And the conclusion I kind of draw from that is when they're speaking to, I guess, the multitudes, the world, they specifically said Greek to show they weren't talking about per se everybody that may have been in the midst, but specifically the Hellenized Greeks and the lands that I saw was the same lands we kind of dispersed to in Maccabees. But I don't know if that's true or not. I just wanted to ask you to validate that.
Yes, indeed, you are spot on. Shamaria, he started a series, but he hasn't finished it yet. But we just keep running into this multiple series and classes. Yes, those Gentiles are Hellenized Israelites. They are pretty much what you and I were before the Most High blessed us. We were eating swine. We were over here, just not knowing, thinking we were Negroes or Americans, but we were really children of Israel. So that's who that text is referring. And it's so befitting that you made that point, because even inside the text, the writers, the apostles, make a distinction. Like the one I'm looking for, I think it was Peter's. Like, um, there's quite a few. Uh, there's one in 1 Corinthians in 12. I think Peter got one too. 1 Corinthians 12 and 2 says, "Ye know that ye were Gentiles, carried away unto dumb idols, even as ye were led." So it's like you can't you can't be of another nation and then convert to Israel. So that's how we know he's talking about you were spiritual Gentiles. Because practicing someone's culture doesn't make you part of that nation. And you don't have to be an Israelite to practice our covenant. You just can't usurp it from us. And that's what Solomon prayed for them, asked the Most High to cover them. And then the other example is Peter. Peter says, I think it was Peter. Let me check this real quick. And this is the level of scholarship, and it takes the Most High Spirit to be with you, that they just don't want to take the time to really consider these things. Yes, it was First Peter 3. 1 Peter 3, he says, having your, is it 1 Peter 3? No, that's not the one I want. Somewhere Peter is telling them to keep yourselves disciplined among the Gentiles. So it's like, if they're really Gentiles, you cannot convert them to Israel. So those scriptures you mentioned, Shemaria, whenever the Most High see fit, Shemaria be back to continue that series, because that is a major stumbling block to many Christians. They see that word Gentile, and now they think that this covenant is open to the world. And then when you check when you check Paul's travels, everywhere Paul went in the book of Acts, everywhere he went, the text say, and he went to the synagogue of the Jews. And he went and found the Jews. Nowhere did he go on his travels did he go to actual Gentiles, meaning of the other nations. He went to the Israelite communities already established. So that's another fallacy of the church, that Paul set up churches. Paul ain't set up no church. He went to visit Israelites who had never been back to Jerusalem, who didn't know that the Messiah had come and risen again. And the synagogues or the churches were already established. So that Christian theology is just erroneous. Just erroneous. Paul did not start one church. And then those letters, he just writing back to all the communities that he visited. So what you're saying, I is spot on. The Gentiles are our relatives. They are our lost relatives in the first century. Now, Ryan, you got something out?
I'm gonna try not to take a lot of time, but I think this is a witness to what Yashar is asking. But before I do, I want to ask this question: do we have any witnesses that show where Paul or Shawal, what land he was born in?
He's from Tarsus. I think that's Turkey.
Turkey, right?
I think it's Turkey.
I wanted to confirm that, the water for that. because that's the understanding that I had. Mm. I was just talking to Zamaria a little bit about this the other day because I was actually in the book of Acts as well for the past couple of weeks. And I've just been playing it over and over again as I'm at work or whenever I'm at home meditating on it. That and Romans, because I really wanted to understand mm, for myself. And it's really just as Shamar says, we don't know how to read. This English language is so defiled that you got to hear it multiple times and in multiple different translations in order to understand it.
Con.
So I'm gonna read this in the New King James just so it's easier to process for everybody. And then I'll explain what I'm getting at here in a second. This is Acts chapter 15, and I'm gonna skip around, y'all. So just bear with me. I apologize for taking this sidebar, but this is verse 1. Certain men came down from Judea and taught the brethren, unless you are circumcised according to the custom of Moses, you cannot be saved. Therefore, when Shaul or Paul and Barnabas had no small dissension and dispute with them, they determined that Paul and Barnabas and certain others of them should go up to Jerusalem to the apostles and elders about this question. Now, I'm going to skip down because we know this chapter is talking about being circumcised according to the law of Moses. Shaul and them were telling them to just abstain from unclean, don't defile yourselves, and just take your time, learn, get a foundation, like keep the Shabbat, and then we'll reconvene with the circumcision at a different time and y'all are a little more mature in the faith. Am I off with that?
La'ah.
Okay. All right. Appreciate that. Verse 23. Yashar, this is one thing that I've circled. They wrote this letter by them, the apostles and elders and the brethren, to the brethren who are of the Gentiles in Antioch, Syria, and Cilicia. Greetings. Okay, now I'm going to skip because a lot of people are of the belief that you don't need to get circumcised anymore. But I'm going to read this and then I'm going to expound on what I'm talking about. Chapter 16, verse 1. Then he came to Derbe and Lystra, and behold, a certain disciple was there named Timothy, the son of a certain Jewish woman. We know that word fish. Jewish woman. She pretty much a Jew, a Yahawada, who believed, but his father was Greek. Now, a lot of people would believe that this person was a real Greek, but we got to keep reading. And then I'm going to ask Ibaja a question again. He was well spoken of by the brethren who were at Lystra and Iconium. Verse 3. All wanted to have him go on with him, and he took him and circumcised him because of the Jews who were in that region, for they all knew that his father was Greek. Okay, Baja, where's Lystra?
Lystra, I can't remember. Is it one of the African countries?
Lystra is also in Turkey.
Oh, Turkey. Con.
So I say that just to say Shawwal was born in Turkey. He was considered a Roman, was he or was he not?
Con.
This other brother, Timothy, after they went to Lystra, they found out his father was quote unquote Greek. But in verse 2, it said he was well spoken of by the brethren who were at Lystra and Iconium. So this is a witness that shows that our people were scattered around who had different understandings of who they were. Shawal, a Pharisee, considered a Roman because he was dealing with that. And the Greeks were also in that same landmass, but they were Hellenized Israelites, if that makes sense. Because once again, why would our brethren speak well of the other nations who don't have anything to do with our way of life, our culture? hope that makes sense for y'all. But those are just some of the witnesses that I caught when it came to these ain't talking about the other nations. These are talking about our people. But they were just in those lands. But of course, I'm open to correction, but that's just what I saw so far.
No, because the text is bearing witness. Acts 15 and 21. For Masha of old time have in every city them that preach him, being read in the synagogues every Shabbat day. So it is the context clues is here. It's just that there's two things going on. Our Christian brothers and sisters still have a spirit of slumber over their eyes because Abba has not blessed them, or they just, because of that demonic possession, again, like we see all every week, some of the Israelites on Facebook is posting those shouting videos, and you literally see these people convulsing and shaking, like that's demonic possession. And like I told my one brother, I says the angels lured Noah's grandsons off the mountain with music, and what starts them doing all that shouting, Zamaria? The music.
That A flat.
That
A
A flat.
flat.
That A flat. So the fallen angels lured Noah's grandsons off the mountain with music, and that music today, that A flat, has them going crazy. It's demonic possession. So that's why they can't see this. But we're gonna park here because I don't want to rush through these slides. It's just too much. It's too important to rush through. So since this tangent is perfect, but what I wanted to share about the Gentiles is the Christians, they love to go to that Greek language when it benefits them. They think it's benefiting their point. But if you go back up to Acts 15 and 19, Acts 15 and 19, he says, wherefore my sentence is that we trouble not them which from among the Gentiles are turned to Yahweh. So again, I can't take credit for this. The Spirit told me to check that word turned. So I pull up the handy dandy blue letter Bible, and that verse where it says turned to Yahweh, the Greek word is G 1994. G 1994 epistrepho or something. It's an epistrepho. Epistrepho. Epistrepho means transitively to turn to the worship of the true God, to cause to return, to bring back, to the love and obedience of Yah, to the love for the children, to love wisdom and righteousness, intransitively to turn to oneself, to turn oneself aback, turn back, to return, turn back, come back. So Acts 15 and 19, it has to be referring to Israelites because the other nations were never with Abba. So epistrepho means to turn back. It could 2 plus 2 is 4. These are Israelites who are being labeled as Gentiles because of the Greek oppression and now the Roman oppression. So I just wanted to add that, but I think we're going to park here at Zechariah chapter 2 because I don't want to rush through these witnesses. It's too important. We're right now, these days are dark. I don't know if you guys are keeping up with current events, but currently the so-called American government is shut down due to they can't compromise the situation in Iran. So these oaths and covenants are going to be our bread and butter. It's going to be our bread and butter. So I don't want to rush through it. We're going to park here. Anyone has any other comments or questions either about the witnesses or about the last subject about the Gentiles? All right, Mashapa, the water rabah for everybody who took the time out. Um, Naraya, Shamaria, you guys know I love you to life. The water for your service. Give me a day or two. I will get this edited as I do and upload it to the channel. And again, when I don't know when the Most High says